Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking what might literally be the single most profound piece of literature ever generated in the tabletop RPG space. Seriously. We're looking at this microscopic, blink-and-you-miss-it 23-word snippet of dialogue from the channel RPG All-Stars. Originally, it was just presented as some quick, epic Dungeon Master advice. But as we unpack these 23 words, I want you to treat this not just as a passing internet joke, but as a modern Zen koan. It's an absolute masterclass in table dynamics, human psychology, and conflict resolution, all compressed into this incredibly tight little package. Okay, let's dive into this. The overarching question that kicks off our source material is huge. What is the secret to eternal happiness? I mean, it's the exact kind of inquiry philosophers, theologians, and scholars have debated for millennia, right? But here, it's being asked at a gaming table. And that frames our entire analysis, because it elevates a really simple interaction about game rules into a quest for absolute universal truth. It's asking us to look at the tabletop space as a microcosm for life itself. Section 1. Quest for eternal happiness. So let's set the stage for this deeply philosophical interaction between a searching student and a wise dungeon master. The gaming table is basically transformed here from a place of dice and character sheets into this mountaintop sanctuary. A seeker has climbed to the peak to ask the ultimate question. Master, what is the secret to eternal happiness? You really have to notice the earnestness here. The player doesn't ask, how do I balance an encounter, or how do I calculate armor class? No, they ask the dungeon master, the literal god of their fictional universe, for the key to profound personal peace. There is massive gravity and existential weight to this opening gambit. The student is totally acknowledging the master's absolute authority and humbly seeking wisdom that transcends the game itself.
Which brings us to Section 2, the ultimate rule.
All right, we have the setup. This heavy, existential question is just hanging in the air over the table. The student waits. We, the audience, wait. We're totally expecting this multi-layered, complex, nuanced philosophical answer detailing the delicate balance of the universe. And instead, we get, do not argue with stupid people. The extreme bluntness of the DM's advice is delivered with absolute, unblinking seriousness. It completely shatters the mystical, high-minded atmosphere the student just built up. It brings the cosmos right down to the grit of everyday human interaction. It's purely practical, entirely devoid of poetry, and just razor sharp. And this brilliantly illustrates the unceremonious brevity and finality of the master's core philosophy. That's it. The dungeon master offers no footnotes, no appendices, no expansive monologues. The secret to eternal happiness is literally just 7 words long. The master establishes a boundary that is completely impenetrable. The rule is given and the lesson is ostensibly over. Next up is Section 3, the skeptical student. But human nature is fascinating, isn't it? Particularly the nature of players sitting at an RPG table. They naturally resist simple, absolute rules. When a dungeon master places a wall in front of a player, the player's immediate, uncontrollable instinct is to check if that wall is load-bearing. They simply cannot let an absolute statement sit in the room unchallenged. So they reply, I don't think that works. And here is the ultimate trap being set by the student. It is an immediate, almost subconscious invitation to an argument. The student is testing the structural integrity of the master's philosophy. By doubting the rule, the student is demanding that the master defend it. And to defend the rule, the master would have to argue. Notice this impending collision we've got going on. On the left side, we have the student's trap. I don't think that works. It acts as this gravitational pull toward conflict and debate. Then, on the right side, we have the master's piece, the stated philosophy of entirely avoiding debate with foolishness. If the master argues back to prove the rule works, well, the master violates their own rule, thereby losing their eternal happiness. But if the master stays silent, the student believes they've won the philosophical high ground. It is an incredible paradox generated in mere seconds. Let's move to Section 4, the master's final word, and see how this builds. Okay, we're at the climax of this 23-word saga. The trap is sprung, the student is waiting for the master to stumble, and what happens next is an absolute masterclass in conflict resolution. The master simply replies, "You are." So the crucial point is how perfectly, how abruptly, and honestly how hilariously conceding the argument executes the master's own rule against the student. By saying, you are right, it doesn't work, the master completely refuses to argue. But in doing so, the master quietly and devastatingly categorizes the student as the exact type of person the rule warns against. The master maintains their eternal happiness, totally avoids the argument, and delivers a flawless victory without even raising their voice. Notice the exact chronological flow of this interaction. It acts as a literal, step-by-step, how-to guide for dungeon masters dealing with difficult players. Step 1, the player prompts the master. Step 2, the master establishes a clear, unyielding boundary. Step 3, the player inevitably attempts to debate that boundary. And step 4, this allows the master to utilize the player's own argument to peacefully and completely shut down the interaction. It's a closed loop of conversational judo. It's just incredibly efficient. This tiny fragment from RPG All-Stars gives us so much to think about regarding how we handle conflict. So the next time you find yourself challenged at the table, or really in any debate where the other party is just looking for a fight, what will you do? Will you take the bait, exhaust your energy and argue, or will you channel the dungeon master, concede the unwinnable debate, and choose eternal happiness? Keep that in mind for your next session.